Welcome to Business Connection. I'm Liz Spencer. We have a wonderful guest in studio today. It's Amy Kain. She's an attorney and she's with Kain and Jablonsky. Welcome, Amy.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Well, we're excited to have you here. Tell me a little bit about your practice.
Well, I've been an attorney for 16 years. I've worked in Naperville for all but one of those 16 years. 4 years ago, my partners and I decided to open shop. We're up in the north end of Naperville.
Great.
And I do primarily contract law. That would include estate planning, real estate, business transactions. So I do mostly transactional work.
Okay. Well, and that kind of brings me to a question about real estate. Often, it's the largest purchase of our lives. And why do we need a real estate attorney or someone, a contractual lawyer like you, on our team?
Well, Illinois is one of the unique states that attorneys are actively involved in the real estate. We have a situation where as attorneys, we're doing title work, we're searching for deeds, we're handling any encroachments, easements, things along those lines. And in Illinois, without that, you can't close the transaction. So from the sell side, we prepare all the documents. But normally where we get involved is we start after the contract's actually signed. The realtors send us the contract, but fortunately, there is a 5-day attorney approval period.
Oh, nice.
And during that period, then we can make any changes contractually. If there's things that are needed to be changed, if we need to add or delete things. Also, we deal with the inspections and all of the negotiation that happens. It's nice to have everybody take a step back and the attorneys handle it, and all of that emotion that is involved in that huge purchase is handled by the attorneys, and so we're the vital part. But really important is to work with professionals, whether it be the attorneys, the realtors, the inspectors, the lenders. All of us have to work together as a team to have a successful transaction.
Right. I totally agree. It is absolutely vital to have a professional team. Team Liz, but because it is much more complicated than anybody ever sees, and that's where you come in. Talk to me a little bit about investors in real estate. You also help them.
Absolutely. There's a lot of different things that we can do for investors, whether you're a landlord, it's so important to have adequate leases in place, or I actually have a group of investors that I handle that actually have decided to have their retirements in real estate. So what we do is we do what's called a self-directed IRA. They transfer their investments from their retirement account, and they both purchase, rehab, and sell these properties. And the best thing about doing it in an individual IRA is that you don't have to pay taxes until retirement. So you avoid that taxation, and it's really a nice way if you want to expand your portfolio for your retirement.
See, now I would not have known that had I not talked to you. That's yet another great example of why an attorney is nice. It's always nice when you meet an attorney, you add that attorney to your team, your family team. And that brings me, you do estate planning as well. Absolutely.
It is, when you're dealing with real estate, you kind of see, there might be problems here. I get calls, how do we transfer this to our family members once we pass away? I always say good estate planning is effectuating what you want to happen after your passing. And it may be vital documents while you're alive, like powers of attorney for healthcare and property, to avoid guardianships in court proceedings. And then we deal with estates and trusts for transferring after you're gone, how you want to handle it. If you have minors, you want to have guardians named. If you have assets that are great enough that you'd want to do a trust potentially. But each individual case is different, and it really determines what we do for you.
Right. Well, it's important. It's something that we don't like to talk about.
Absolutely.
'Cause it's about our own passing, and so. But it's nice to have a good attorney and somebody that's where trust in a relationship come in, because you learn a lot about us during those time periods.
Absolutely. Some people are like, "Oh, my family gets along." After the fact, we find out that's not the case. But really, we do estate planning to avoid problems, and we do get intimate. And I've gone to family members' funerals that are clients because you get so close with them. So it's nice to build those relationships. And long term, I've had clients who I've done estate planning for 15 years, and you see them every once in a while, and it's really nice to catch up.
Right. Well, and as a family, and I mentioned this before, it's nice when we find an attorney, and your practice really has that family front and center because you take care of the entire family needs.
Absolutely. I don't handle it, but I have partners who do divorce, custody, maintenance. All of that is changing significantly, and it's really important to have that aspect. I even have somebody who does bankruptcy if you need to. So we handle all of the family matters that are necessary in the common person.
And I often think about, family attorneys and sometimes just being able to pick up the phone and say, "Hey, Amy, I have this situation. Do I need to come see you?"
And we do get that. Unfortunately, I've had a situation where I had a family whose daughter died, and then we had to step in for grandparents' rights. And so I can hand that off to my partner and feel comfortable that, we have that relationship and we can handle their needs.
That's great, because you want kind of a one-stop shop for that, because you never know what kind of attorney you really need sometimes too.
Absolutely.
So tell me a little bit about what's the best part of the job. You've got a lot. This is a stressful job, but I see you smile, and so I know you love what you do. Tell me why.
The best part is helping people. When 90% of real estate transactions, people are either so excited or happy to be moving on if they're selling or moving up. There's all of that excitement that's at every closing. But then also you see the other side with the estate planning where you're helping these families and, they're so grateful. And it's interesting from my side of the table to just see the problems and then how things interrelate and how we can create solutions. And each case is different. It's never the same every day.
Well, I think you probably bring a lot of relief too, because these problems seem a little overwhelming, and then you can take a look at them and go, "No, we've got this, and this to do."
Yeah, I always say, "Tell me what you want to do, and we'll figure out how to do it."
That's wonderful, Amy. Thanks for stopping by and sharing a little bit about your practice and what you do. We are happy that you're in Naperville.
Thank you so much for having me.
We'll be right back with more Business Connections. Stay tuned.